Hello and welcome to a brand new video. In this episode, the toilet gets fixed and I finish laying all the floor tiles. I know you really want to know why the tiling took me so long. To be perfectly honest, it was just awful. I finally know and understand why people always say once you've tiled you'll probably never tile again, because that's exactly the way I feel. It really took me forever. In the beginning I feel like I was super confident and super excited about it because it was brand new, but as it went along it really became quite strenuous on my body. It was back-breaking work. Even just finishing 2 rows of tiles, which was about 16 tiles total for 2 rows. By the end of that, I was kind of really sore. My back was really sore, my body was really sore, and I really had to take a break to do the next set of rows. So yeah, back-breaking work. I'm not really looking forward to do the next section, but I think I will do it a little bit faster this time. Well, not because I'm going to lay the tiles faster, because I probably won't. I'm a little bit OCD about that, getting them perfect, right height and everything, but just getting it all done in one go, or as close as possible done in one go, so that I don't take so long to get it done. Yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to, I'll be completely honest with you. But I'm so happy that this side is done. The next part will be the grouting of that section. Really excited about getting this room done. Let me show you what I've done.
This is Girl Meets Farm.
Right, so the plumber has been here. And don't worry, everything has already been cleaned up. We've just done the fix, so you won't see anything nasty. I'm just going to explain to you what we've done. We, okay, this is rather grim, but basically it turns out that the connection was not fitted correctly. And I'm going to show you an open fall now, but you won't see anything nasty. The connection from the pipe to the toilet was this rigid thing, and the rubber seal that was on the inside there and that sealant there that was connecting to the floor was not fitted on correctly and was actually completely broken. And this is why the toilet kept gushing out water and just kept flooding the bathroom. In addition to that, unfortunately, this pipe was blocked as well. And the plumber reckons, so this is a new plumber, this is not the plumber that installed it. The plumber reckons that the fall, and here this is the second issue, the fall is not deep enough, so we're not getting enough of a fall to get it all the way where it needs to go. So what happened was, pretty much from here to, I don't know, maybe just after the wheelbarrow, there was blockage. He reckons the blockage has been there since the very first flush. So that is 6 months worth of gunk that we just undid, unflushed, unblocked, unstopped. And now finally it is flowing clearly. Thankfully, I mean, it's not great, but thankfully the pipes are so high that we could take off this piece of concrete that was covering the pipe, and we could cut another hole in here to try and rod it down and up. We then flushed it with water. This has been 2 hours in the making to just try and get this pipe clear and to get all the gunk clear. We then went to the 2 rodding irons down here as well, rodding eyes, and did the same thing here and over there to make sure that we had everything running clear and everything ran into the septic. Now the problem of course comes in that this is just never going to be fixed because it's a double whammy. So although the toilet fitting itself will be fixed today, the fall will always be a problem. So number one, I can't use toilet paper down the toilet, and that was always my requirement. I just want a real loo. I don't want to not be able to flush toilet paper down the loo. But this is what's going to have to happen from here on. No more toilet paper down the loo. The second thing is this fall is always going to be an issue because there isn't enough of a fall. So this means that this could possibly happen within a couple of weeks, a couple of days, a couple of months. It is going to happen again, no doubt. The fall is one thing, and of course there's two bends right at the end, bend to get into the septic tank here. So we're asking this waste to travel down a fall that is not deep enough, get all the way there, go around a bend, go around another bend, and go back into the sewerage septic tank. This is just not going to work. So originally what I wanted was my septic line to come through here. For whatever, or the reason we didn't do that is because they dug this actual septic tank in a position where if we brought the line through here, the angle was going to be too extreme to get the waste into the septic, which is why they decided to go all the way around and do a bend that way. But that is clearly not working, and also we hit bedrock in this section here, which dictated that we couldn't take more of a fall from there to here and here to there, because also the septic tank is actually placed higher, so the last end is a little bit of an incline as opposed to a decline. What we may need to do is to dig a new septic tank and a new waste line that possibly does a very gentle bend this way, and maybe we have to not have any further bends and try and place it in there. But the problem with this whole area, let me show you. Do you see that? That's not sand. This is all granite. We can't get very deep here. So I don't quite know how we're going to solve this problem. For now, I can use it, but I'm always going to have the same problem. At some point it's going to back up, at some point it's going to get clogged. At some point I'm going to have to do this again, and I really don't want to do this again. This was pretty awful. So we need to find a solution. But thankfully today we have fixed the issue. Today we can fit the toilet properly. And at least I will be able to flush it. And everything is back together again. I've cleaned with multiple products and even used disinfectant, some Savlon antiseptic on everything. The floor, the toilet, the cupboard, the walls, everything. And I will probably do another round just to make doubly sure that everything is nice and clean. But the toilet is put back together again, and we haven't siliconed the bottom because I'm just gonna keep it for a couple of days, make sure it dries properly, make sure there's no more issues, and then I can probably silicone that back up on the outside. We just put a patch on this pipe. The rock is over there to remind me that it's there, and to also just make sure that it fits on properly. That's literally just silicone on top of the hole that we cut, so that in future, if need be, we can just take the silicone off, take off the patch, and then we can get into this whole section. So I may actually put a rotting eye here as well. But the long of it is that, do excuse me, I'm totally sweaty from all the cleaning I've just done. But the long of it is that I'm gonna have to find a better way for this toilet, for this septic system. Either we redo this line to the septic or place the septic in a different position. We'll have to see, but for now, it's fixed. myself this little tool today. I'm not sure if it's the right one, but basically it's like a Dremel, if I understand it correctly. I'm not even sure if I'm using the right fitting, but I want to try and be as gentle as possible on the tiles. So let's try it out. Seems to do the trick. So without damaging the tiles, so that's also really good. It's taking off all the big pieces of mortar that's stuck on top of the tiles, and I just have this whole floor to do. And then I'm also going to see if I can work in the lines as well. Let's see. It's actually a really cool little set. It comes in a box and you get all these little tools. So let me just take this mask off. There's all these little tools, and it even has little cutting discs. So I could potentially actually get in the lines of the tiles as well to deepen them. But I've read up that these guys notoriously break really, really easily. So I think I might do a combination and keep it's actually a polishing tool that I'm currently using, and the polishing fluffies, I guess, and see how far that gets me. Today I have had coming to help me hopefully finish this last section and into there, that passageway, or at least cut the tiles for me. This section is not completely level to this section, so I'm not sure if we'll first have to level that out or if I can just tile directly on it. It's not a huge difference, but it's definitely going like a little bit down towards that side. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get through all of this today, but at the least I'm hoping he can cut all the weird angles for me so that I can just get on with the tiling. Now, last night I really tried my best to get on with the tool to try and clean up in between these sections, hey boy. But I noticed as I was going that this is what it was doing. It was drawing lines on the tiles. So I think 2 tiles after I noticed that, I stopped. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to find a different fitting or a different tool or method to try and do this. I know acid is an option, but to be perfectly honest, I'm like quite scared to use any kind of acid. It probably sits in the same category as me using power tools. So if I can avoid using acid on the floor, I'm gonna do that and rather try and get it off a different way. Let's see what happens today. Oh, that looks good. Super handy to measure how we want the final look of the tiles to go as well. Gerd has just left and he's managed to help me do the passageway. This was super tricky because it goes so much lower and the floor literally goes in waves for this whole section. So I'm so happy he was here to help me, not only with the cuttings, but also with just getting the floor down, because as I mentioned, it was really tricky. I must still clean up this side of the floor and then continue as far as I can go on that piece there as well. But right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to put some more mortar, or tile cement at least, adhesive, underneath the tiles here where they meet with the end of the passageway with a step, just so that they don't break when someone steps on it. So I'm probably not doing this the right way, and anyway, I'm sure you guys will tell me there's better ways to do this, but I'm just taking my hand because it seems like the easiest way to do it, and I'm filling it into the gaps. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just has to have something better to grip on, or at least, and I can fill this up with more cement of course later on, but this is just so that this can dry right now with something already in there that's a little bit more secure. And then I take this thingy and just try and kind of pat it in there and even it out as best as I can. I've done that section already. Like I said, we're not looking for perfection, we're just looking to not have it break. Just cleaning off the edges of the tiles. Okay, and then continue doing that for the whole row. That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. And just from the other side. Perfect. And then the other side we did today was just this back corner. So now it's a little bit more even, and we angled this into around the stones. So when I lay the stone mosaic down, it does look a little bit better and a bit more purposeful. I do like this quite a lot actually. Right, I have to now try and finish 1-2 rows and then see how far I can get with the last 2 rows up until that square.
Then it was time to clean the floor. So I moved everything over to one side of the room and started on the bottom half of the structure. I first had to clean everything really well, mop the floor, and I did decide to change tactics, and I bought a very eco-friendly, lightweight floor acid that is made to dissolve tile cement.
I'm currently almost halfway, and I just want to show you what a huge difference this makes. So this side is already dry and clean. Now look, there are some areas that I will need to go over a second time, but those are just acute spots. But this is massive difference if you compare that side to like the amount of cement that is still to come, or that is taken off. So let's see what it does with this side. I got halfway through the structure. Of course, all the stuff is in the way still. I must still do this whole side, the passageway. But I'm wondering if I just should start the grouting there, let that dry, move this over, and then clean this section and grout here. I don't know, I'll see. It all has to get done this week, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to get done regardless. But I will say this was one round of the product, and I have very little left, maybe enough to do some spot correction. But this is without spot correction, and I must say I am incredibly pleased with the result. There's still a couple of places where I want to do some spot correction, but all in all, I'm super happy, considering this is an eco product and it's a lighter weight acid. I know that's kind of funny, but wow, it did an incredible job. Very pleased with that. I'm now gonna do one more mop with clean water, the whole floor, then spot correction, and then I'm going to wash the floor like really well to make sure all the acid's out. I just finished the other half of the room. I just gave it a quick another water mop, and I must still do another round of cleaning after this, like a quick floor wash, just to make sure all the acid is off. But look, it's not perfect, but this is as good as I'm going to get it. Now the whole floor is done and ready for grouts.